Springtime on the Hackney Marshes, East London. An area with serious deprivation. The sun is shining, the birds are singing, and the bream have migrated up the River Lee to spawn. This spawning cycle has been going on for many centuries and is now under threat from the Prescott Channel, which will block the waterway. This barrier is part of the construction for the London Olympics in 2012. Local residents wonder if this will be the last year these fish will be spawning in Hackney.
But it's amazing how quickly they pick you up. So here you have all these fish hanging out, waiting to do what they want to do, whenever they're going to do it. And what they're essentially waiting for is the river to be really low and slow and clear, and then a computer program somewhere opens up the sluices and those conditions are destroyed. And we are in the middle of some of the worst social deprivation in the country, and it's got this, and it's not being celebrated. This is the tape grass that they spawn on, and these are the lowest and slowest conditions I've seen this year. These are the best spawning conditions. That's why I think there's so many of them have showed up, because they know exactly what they're about, these fish. British Waterways are building a massive new double lock system that will take 350-ton barges. They say that the reason that they are doing this is to enable 50% of the construction materials traffic to be taken off local roads, which is a praiseworthy objective, and to be put on the waterways. And it's part of a scheme, they say, to bring London's canal waterways back into productive use. And Prescott Channel is their bastard child. And part of it is, beside these two 350-ton locks, they are building a barrage of what are called two fish belly gates. It's kind of slightly different version of the Thames barrage. At low water they can sit in the bottom of the whole sluice lock assembly, but what they're going to do with them is bring them up and impound the River Lee at a high tide level permanently, more or less. Instead of a twice daily pattern of high tide and low tide and different creatures and the other smaller creatures that they feed on, having a life cycle which these fish here embody, it'll be like the canal.
This will be just solid all the time, won't it?
Yeah. And as we can see, these fish are hanging around getting ready to spawn because the tide is low.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you remove that low tide, you remove what they're here for. Yeah. And where else would you see this in London? No. They've just opened the sluices. See that bit of oil go past?
Oh, yeah.
Flow's go speeding up, isn't it?
Yeah, you can see it.
Yep, that's it. Show's over, guys. Yeah, I think, unless I miss my guess, what we're seeing here, you can see the flow rate of the water has gone up. Yep. The water has got cloudier. Yep. And someone or some machine has, some computer program has decided that that's low enough. And then what usually happens is that you see the level rise, and the conditions that they're here for just disappear. Mm. British Waterways maintain certain height levels and certain flow rates. I mean, it's very important to do that, but not to be aware that there is a spawning window with these fish is to be wearing blinkers, and to mess with a very ancient natural pattern of behaviour. So life must be very frustrating for a bream in the River Lee. I can't see how it can be maintained. This spawning behaviour, as you can see, critically depends on low and slow flow rate down amongst the take grass of the clearest, freshest water they can find. That's why they're here. I would like to see people from British Waterways and English Nature come and talk to us about this and explain good reasons why this tidal phenomenon can be removed, and how you're going to put something back in its place, which has got this kind of beauty, really. Can somebody persuade me that this will not disappear and can be replaced with something that is at least as good as this? I wait to hear of it. You know, all you've got to do is come and look at it, and it opens a window onto something you just didn't know existed. Now, if you can't see that, I could tell you about it all day long, and you know, you would say, yeah, it all sounds very interesting, but what's on the other channel?